Coach just wants to apologize for botching the intro on this one. I was saying thank you to everybody, and I accidentally referred to Boston Allen as Boston Alex, but I didn't forget his name. I just accidentally combined the words Allen and Red Sox, so my bad there. I just wanted to say very thankful for all of you, the few of you. Wish you a very Merry Christmas Eve to Trevor, Daniel, and Boston Alex. I appreciate you more than you know. Um, you guys make the channel so much more fun, so much easier to make content. Like, if you guys weren't active, I know how I would be. I would just think that it was a waste of time, and I would just get into my research, right, and be like, well, I'll just solve more for me, right? But this way it can stay documented. Hopefully some of it survives in a time capsule somehow and hits people at the right time in like 2086, 2068, all that sort of good stuff, right? Just in time for them to cash in. But Coach is incredibly proud of this video, incredibly proud of the entire channel, incredibly proud of the work you guys put in, getting deep cuts, just finding ways to stay positive even when things don't go our way. Coach is so confident. This is in it for us, man. We're gonna be so fucking paid, no joke. You wait till you watch this one. This is the type that, like, so Coach doesn't like to sit around and, like, boast and sit on his account like, oh, look at all these codes we got. We can just sit back and get paid in 2047, right? Coach stays grinding, right? Checking all the shit, getting new shit, right? We want every championship every year from every sport, right? We're not playing around at all. We want shit we can even bet on, like the Olympics, just so it makes our other narratives even stronger. We don't want to just say the who and the when. We want to say the why and the how. They're getting this coach, they're getting this player, they're going to run this play, right? They're going to get this guy to kick this ball this amount of yards at this time in this moment against this team, right? Just, guys getting injured against this team, right? Like, just the craziest shit you could think of, just because we're the best. And it's okay to talk about being the best as long as you don't think it somehow like makes you better than other people. And Coach knows that we're the best, and he has the best comment section on YouTube, even though it is just a few of you. And I sincerely mean that. I wouldn't change my subscriber count and you guys for any other channel on YouTube, sincerely, and or any other platform. So hopefully we also got like some silent lurkers. But I don't think so, because you guys seem to just be the few hitting the like button as well. So like I said, y'all are the heart and soul of the channel, the driving force. I'm just the macro guy, putting it all together in a way you can understand it. But this channel was meant for people like you who are seeking alternative ways of thinking, ways to beat the system, ways to not have to be a slave. So this one's for us. 2025 is finally going to be our year. I'm so glad that we don't have to just rely on a complete turnaround, right? We found some success. We got 2 exact fight result predictions. Like, if we just got the fights, that wouldn't be enough for Coach to be feeling confident. It's like, oh, that's a coin flip, right? But we know exactly how it was going to go down, and it was completely different from how we originally saw it. We stayed grinding. So Coach thinks it's really going to be really good, smooth sailing, like pretty much the rest of the way, and he's just pumped it's pretty much finally here. He loves the bandwagons we're on. He wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and here's to us. So you guys really enjoy yourselves. And basically what I was getting at is, this is Coach has like a short memory as far as like his success. Like, he could be having a great game, I could hit like 10 threes or whatever, but the second it's been a minute, literally like a minute, I've already forgot that any of that even happened. Or like, even if I remember it happened, it doesn't feel as important, right? Because we need this one right now. Like, Coach is always going to stay hungry. That's just how he is. But like, this is the type of video that's just so effortless. It's just the slow burn, the classic slow burn. Coach takes you for a ride, lulls you to sleep, and then boom, here's the craziest shit you ever heard. And actually, here's a couple teams and all the championships and how they're synced up, like stuff we didn't even think about before. More, maybe we hinted at it here and there, right? But this is like my peak Eminem. Like, it's just so it just happens so regularly. we're not even impressed anymore. Like coach feels like everybody's probably doing this, right? Like that's just like coach's paranoid conspiracy mind, and maybe he's right? But he's always like I've got to be the only dumb one. Like everybody else is laughing at me, and they already know all this shit, right? But in case that's not true, and people do need this information, this is for us, and I couldn't do it without you. I mean that I could get a lot of this stuff, but I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I'm at. Even in the research, I always thought about the channel as like, even though it's worth it, it's like a slowdown. It's probably gonna ultimately be a hindrance. Like same way I always thought about like family and that sort of stuff, right? But no, I don't feel that way at all. I think you guys are like the fact that I have to go back and remake hour-long videos and stuff, and find that one extra connection on the fourth viewing, the 10th editing, spending 10, 12 hours on one video. It really makes it sing. It's like, oh, that was you missed the whole twist, right? You got the heart and the soul of the story, but you missed where they duped you. You didn't see the concealed hand, right? So this is for us. Like I said, you enjoy. All right, so Coach trying to salvage this video that was blocked globally. We lost about an hour off this one, so trying to make up with it with facts. Let's see. Similarities between Alex Jones and Joe Theismann's injuries. They both broke their legs on November 18th. Both played for the Skins. Both broke their right legs. Both injuries happened in Washington. Both games ended in a score of 23-21. Both injuries happened near the same yard line. Both were tackled by a three-time Defensive Player of the Year in Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt, and both happened when their star left tackles weren't on the field when the injury happened. Okay, so Foles, this is just back when he was with the Eagles the year after the Super Bowl run. They're saying like the magic continues. He had a crazy uh, game against the Bears, but basically they're just like with Foles, it's less about stats, more about belief. And it's like they keep saying the Foles magic will end at some point, right? Yeah, so and then they moved on from Foles for Bradford. Sam Bradford's a very obvious curse. We got Chip Edward Kelly. He coached for the Bruins for 6 seasons. Thought that was really interesting. Get our UCLA connection. Um, Something that looks good for our Blue Jackets is the two other expansion teams from the same time. The Jets and the Wild are at the top of their division. Isn't that crazy? And then the Golden Knights are an expansion team for much more recently. They're winning their division. The Ravens, they have the Texans and the Browns left to worry about. I could see the Browns sweeping. The Browns swept the Ravens once in a season where they finished. Like, the Ravens were defending Super Bowl champions, and the Browns swept them in a year where the Browns didn't make the playoffs. So, yeah, the Browns could definitely beat the Ravens. It would suck because the draft pick wouldn't be as good, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Andy Reid confirmed that Jack Conklin suffered a fracture in his left ankle. So, there you go. He's going to be down. And then Andy Reid's retirement. So coach was thinking he's probably about to step away. He's 66 years old, turned 67 in March. So, yeah, coach thinks he retires at 67 right after the Super Bowl loss. And as far as Al Bubba Baker and Billy Sims and their barbecue joints. So barbecue most typically refers to pork. Isn't it interesting? We got the Lions and Browns facing off right after the Skins, who are the Hogs. Just saying. Now Max Crosby has to sit out the rest of the year. He's injured. Right, number 98 with the 86 coating. So the Raiders are in tank mode. Alrighty, so yeah, the Raiders season is over. They're calling it quits. They're going for a pick. Max Crosby's not there to try to make them compete. So coach is hoping the Michigan-born native makes his way to Detroit next year to go alongside Aiden Hutchinson. So they both got the one eye thing, right? So they do the stupid eye paint. One's 97, one's 98. So you get the 76, 68 coating just like that. And we already covered him, but Joe Thomas is thinking a chef named Rocco. That's short for Rocky, right? And then Steve Bisciotti, the Ravens owner, he's ranked as one of the NFL's best. Coach doesn't like that because his biggest fear is that it's stupid, like Lions Ravens Super Bowl or Lions Chiefs or Lions Bengals. Right? Obviously, the Bengals one's not very likely, but Modell advancing the Hall of Fame process, he might finally get in. coach is thinking that him getting it would be good for the Brownies to actually win it in like 2045 or something like that. So let's see. I thought it was interesting. The Cleveland Spiders won a title in 1895, and the Cleveland Buckeyes began in 42, but won in 45 and 47. Right, so you flip the 42, it's 24 for us. So, or actually, we're gonna be in 25. Okay, so was oh yeah, it was the 45 I liked, right, for the 2045 Brownies. Kind of the way the Chiefs and the Negro League was synced up for their loss. And let's see, Cavs were originally the Rosenblooms. Hockey had the Cleveland Monsters. There's also the Cleveland Crunch. This was interesting to coach. Cleveland's original home was the Franklin Athletic Club. Oh, kind of like Franklin Field for the old Eagles, right? That's kind of weird. And then, let's see. Oh, the league began in 1917 for a 76 coating. Of course, the Cleveland Panthers, the Browns' original name, like when they went through the name contest, the fans voted for the Panthers, but they had to go with the Browns because the Panthers' name was still under trademark. And then they had the Cleveland Tigers as well, the Cleveland Bulldogs. This is like the most dominant team in NFL history. You have no idea. You got to figure out more about these Bulldogs, dude. They won an entire season with their opponents scoring a combined 0 points. This team was insane. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So they then became the Detroit Wolverines. I thought that was interesting. Let's see. Of course, you know about the Cleveland Rams. There's the Cleveland Panthers thing I was telling you about. Okay. Coach is going to give you a second. Try to figure out when their championship's going to be. Coach honestly didn't need to do jack shit for this one. I looked at it. I was like, oh. Well, I mean, I'm telling you within a second. Have you figured it out yet? Because Coach, it was literally his very first guess, and he did the net math in 2 seconds. He was like, yep, that's it. Okay. So, how about 2068, which would be 86 years from 1982, and let's see, hold on, 2068. Hold on. 2068. Am I right there? Yeah, 86 years from 82. And 82 years from 86. Yeah, 86 from 82 and 82 from 86. Yeah, they're winning in 2068. That's a no-brainer. They're done. Fuck the Nittany Lions. They're faded for almost our entire lives. We don't have to worry about them at all. Oregon's also never won one. Longhorns have pulled off 4. That's intimidating. But to me, Coach is thinking 2030, 25 years from the 2005. Which was, oh wait, no, hold on. My math's off. They had a 35-year gap there. So that would be 2040. Yeah, so I like 2040. It's another 35-year gap, and then it's 70 years from 1970. Okay, so that's right with Coach. Not saying Ringer, but that's what I had to pick if you had a gun to my head. Let's see. Boise State has 2 national championships, 80 and 58. Coach is thinking, like, with how goofy this one, and it's like 2038 at the earliest. They might never win another one. It's a weird one. Notre Dame has 11. Okay, including we're on the 100th year anniversary. But look, they got the 46 and the 49. Okay, so Coach was automatically thinking this was 64 coding, but then look, 64-year gap between the first and the last. Okay, so if you do a 46-year gap from 88, that puts you in 2034, which is a flip of 43. So Coach is thinking it's something like that, and they'll probably pull off a bunch because their numbers are going to be hitting. The only ones they've skipped, so like they didn't hit 1903, that's probably going to be like 2103. All right, and then, yeah, all the others would be coming up. Barry Sanders, some sort of crazy flu thing. So George Blanda, the oldest player to ever play professional football at 48 years old. Okay. Started in 49, played to 76. Got the 76 coding. Old Tom Brady's turning 48 in August. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. I think it's interesting that Nicholas Foles' middle name is Edward too. So Foles and Brady got the same middle name. They don't even cart him off the field. Joe Theismann's injury, so he gets the ball back from number 44. It was a flea flicker. He had probably never gotten a pass from 44 before, so he gets hit with the code of destruction. Our boy Lawrence Taylor comes and deals the damage, and then they do their little number flip trick, 18, 18, 18, right? And then it's over for our boy Alex Smith. He goes out like the exact same way. And as far as, let's see, Harbaugh, what's his code? Okay, so they use the Alex Smith Walleteers to sell you the Kaepernick clownery. Of course, Kaepernick goes all the way to the Super Bowl. You get the Harbaugh versus Harbaugh Super Bowl. They're not going to let Colin win one, right? So that was an easy pick for the Ravens. 2012 as well also seems, they're telling you like that's the end of the year. Ravens also got the Y2K, so that would have been an easy one. We'll skip over that bot. So plus one. Okay, so 11, 19, 18. So 1918, right? So that's the big trick. 86 coding for us. That's when everything went wrong. So we're going to switch over to talking about Jalen Hurts real quick. So Coach didn't get a clip of the actual injury, but I did watch it in real time, and it was the softest thing you've ever seen. His head like barely hit the turf. Not any type of malicious intent. I was furious they threw a flag, right? And then, of course, Smith like absolutely rocked there. I don't even think they threw a flag, right? So he gets absolutely rocked, legitimate concussion. Jalen Hurts was the one that like pulled himself out of the game. So they're all saying he was cleared by the medical staff, and it's like somebody was keeping him out of the game. So this guy's like, I find it odd Hurts is the only QB to get a concussion this season during the game and not return during the game. Something fishy about that. It needs to be an investigation. Costs the Eagles chance at the number 1 seed. The NFL wants the Lions with the 1 seed. They ain't even trying to hide it. We think the Vikings are getting the 1 seed. I'm not mad about the decision to keep Hurts out. I would rather him be healthy and safe than risk worse injury by continuing play. I disagree at the end, blah, blah, blah. So that wasn't the one that every true competitor is going to say they're okay to go back. It's in their nature. Hurts isn't the one to make that call. We need a healthy QB, not someone who says they're okay and not 100%. No, he's not a real competitor. That's the most, this got to be a bot, right? These are all bots. But, that's exactly it. He's not a true competitor. He's pulling himself out of the game. He's soft. He's going to go clutch his purse, take his freaking Midol or whatever. So that's our Ramskins connection again. Okay, so I thought it was interesting. They got the Dwayne Haskins clownery involved in this too, so that's how they saw do that good. Let's see. Oh yeah, so he came back 693. So they got the 369, the little John and Esau. Oh shit. Okay, so the Alex Smith's Commanders put the Washington football team put the Buccaneers over that year. So they gave Smith an injury excuse. We would have known it wasn't in it for them at that point. Plus, they don't have any type of name. There's no reason to root for the Washington football team. At least the Commanders is something to say, right? And then I think it's very interesting. So the Buccaneers, they have a brownie starting a quarterback with Baker Mayfield. Well, Tom's only 2 years removed from the league, so if the Commanders get over on the Buccaneers and then win it all, and then Tom Brady comes back and gets to the Super Bowl with the Browns, I think it would be obvious that the Buccaneers are cursed right now, and Tom could have just stuck around and probably won this Super Bowl. Would have kept the Commanders from their fate. So, quick wrap-up recap of NFL for this week. So the Packers annihilated the Saints. That doesn't look good for our Commanders' 1-point victory, but our Commanders bounced back and took care of the Eagles, who are supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. Of course, they didn't have their starting quarterback, but it is what it is. We'll see. Anybody can win any game. We've seen a couple breaks. Who knows what the script will be, how they win it. And then Chiefs Steelers. That's Christmas Day morning game. Of course, pulling for the Chiefs. Ravens Texans. We don't really care. We're going to root for the Texans just for fun. Seahawks, Bears. We're going to take the Bears because we don't want the Seahawks to do anything. We don't care about them this year. They're a script for next year, if anything. Chargers, Pats. We'll go with the Patriots. Who cares? It doesn't actually matter. And then Bengals, Broncos. We want the Bengals to keep it interesting. We're just pretty much going with all the underdogs apart from the teams that matter to us. Cardinals, Rams. Who cares? Let's go with the Cardinals. They're officially eliminated. Actually, we like the Rams skins. So give us the Rams. And then Cowboys, Eagles. That's a fun one. Let's hope the Cowboys pull it off. Panthers, Bucks. We're gonna go. Oh no, that's right. We like the Buccaneers more than the Ramskins because of the Tom Brady thing. So we're gonna pull for the Bucks there. Bills, Jets. We'll take the Bills. Who cares? Jets would be funny though. Colts, Giants. We don't care at all. Oh yeah, no, we want the Giants to win. So they mess up their pick. And then let's see, we got Raiders, Saints. So we want the Raiders to win. Titans, Jags. We want the Jaguars to win, I believe. So I thought this was interesting. So Coach found an Oklahoma State, Ohio State University connection. So they're both OSU, but check it out. So Ohio State is called the Redskins as well. Like that's like their nickname. Okay, I thought that was very interesting. Coach picked this up. How awesome is this? Coach loves how inconspicuous it is. Like, even as far as like conspiracy minded sports people, they'd never take a second look at this one, right? But Coach was all over it. He went up and picked this up. One of the most expensive books he's bought so far. Braves on the Warpath. So, our Washington Braves, check out the author, Alan Beal. Crazy, right? So, yeah, that Coach has got that one in the mail. Eagles, Cowboys got flexed to 1 p.m. because nobody gives a shit. The Commanders spoiled that game. So they had to flex the Vikings game to that time with Green Bay. Much better matchup, right? The afternoon game, they still got Browns, Dolphins for some reason. I wonder if our Brownies mess up and win it. Packers, Vikings, obviously. Falcons, Commanders. We want the Commanders, of course. They got them winning the Super Bowl. Lions, Niners. We're going to take the Niners there. Thought it was very interesting. There's a prospect in the draft named Kobe Bryant. We'd like to see him end up on the Hoosiers or something goofy, right? So that's what Coach has for you, I believe. Yep. So Jalen Hurts being so pussified seemed like a perfect excuse to bring up Otto Graham. So did you know Otto Graham also played defensive back? Right, he was a safety out there laying the wood when he wasn't throwing touchdown passes. He also played a championship game with a broken throwing hand. Okay, so back before Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, there was Otto Graham. He also played basketball for the Royals. That's the Cincinnati Royals, the Sacramento Kings. Right, so he was a pro baller. Otto could hoop too, and as far as like Paul Brown, like how did Paul Brown, a coach as good as he was, end up with a running back like Jim Brown, right at the very not the top of the draft because a couple teams passed on him, but essentially right at the top of the draft. So Otto or Paul Brown did start having like some mediocre seasons near the end, but he still would have never had a team bad enough to have the opportunity to draft Jim Brown if Otto Graham hadn't retired. Okay, and it's actually a two-parter. So Otto Graham retired, but Paul Brown had talked him into playing one more season. Well, that one last season wasn't such a good idea because it pissed old Johnny Unitas off. So Graham or Paul Brown, who was always searching for Graham's replacement, missed his perfect opportunity with Johnny Unitas, right? So imagine a Unitas and Brown tandem, right? Like it would have basically been the same shit all over again, another 10-peat or something crazy. Yo, Coach is just a fucking animal, dude. Like, you cannot stop this man. Alrighty, so you ready for this shit? Okay, so, of course, Coach immediately had the thought, like, when the 18s were hitting the skins negatively, like, oh, obviously, because 18s and 81s are good for the Eagles. So, of course, it could be bad for the skins, right? And this one, once again, took me about 10 seconds, right? Like, that's how I really think this is the way they're doing it, because once you train yourself to do it, you don't even have to think about it. It's, like, simpler than counting. Like, it's just, you know what number they're going to use. You put it there, and it's like, oh, yeah. So, take your time. Look at the 4 championship appearances. See what's going on here, okay? Now, this is the type of one that, like, confuses me a little bit, with like seasons versus championships. I'm still terrified that somehow the fucking Lions winning this championship and it's over the damn Steelers. I'll be so sick, dude. You don't even know. But my Commander's code is so strong that I'm not actually worried. That's how I'm able to just keep going full steam, and like I'm actually pumped on the Commanders. Like, and I'm glad it's next year. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not overly worried. The Lions, of course, are decimated, but let's get to it. Like I said, take your time. Try to figure this one out, dude. You know what numbers coach is looking for. This is easy. Easy, dude. Okay. So they make it in 81. They win in 18. But then there's a 2005 there and a 2023. And this is how they get you. Because as soon as you see what seems like an obvious pattern breaker, you're just like, oh, I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I don't want to try it. Right? Like, it's just like, it's not worth it. Right? Like, clearly I'm off. Right? Like, it's got to be some other one, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out. So just look at the 15 and add the number right below it. 2005 plus 18 is 2023. Okay? And this isn't a full solve because Coach's basically doing this off the top of his head. He literally just took the screenshot and started rolling because he knew he was going to nail this one. Right? Then add the top two together. 81 plus 5. 2086. Which 2086, let's see, that's gotta come in again 68 years from their 2018 one. See, Coach didn't even have to try. I knew it was going to come all together. Coach caught a bonus one here, right? So it's weird that they did theirs to where it's 1 last century and 3 this century. So I'm like immediately thinking, I'll bet that 05 is like a tricky one. Like, I'll bet that's actually meant for the last century. Right? Like, there just wasn't a championship yet, so they had to like sneak it in for the Eagles. So let's pretend that's like a 1905, right? If you then go 76 years from 1905, you're right at 1981. If you go the other way, you add the 5 years to the 81, you got your 86. All right, Merry Christmas to Coach. So Coach's girlfriend hooked him up with the bookcase. So it is absolutely slam full. So up top, we got the ones we've read so far. It's old. There we go. Okay, sorry. Let that break. Alrighty, so here's the ones we've read so far. Coach added another one to the stack with Cleveland Browns history at the bottom. Alrighty, so we've read Curses, Why Cleveland Sports Fans Deserve to Be Miserable. You already got the book report on False Start. I owe you all the rest. Weird Moments in Cleveland Sports. Things I've learned from watching the Browns. Hidden history of Cleveland sports. Loneliest Lion fans. And as I mentioned, Cleveland Browns history. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7 of them down so far, right? And then absolutely slammed wall to wall with unread, and we got at least 10 in the there. So we got them divided by section. So we got Cavs to the left, Bruins right next to it, Bob Knight, Sixers. There's like spiritual hoop stuff, baseball movie stuff, baseball history, curse stuff. That's all organized by year. So we got oldest to newest, and then except Hustle and Moneyball. I accidentally swept around. I got swapped those. Then we got the Ohio State ones. The football just generic football history, deep history. There's our Brownie section, our Eagles section, and our Detroit section.